segment called Cops Ain't Shit, right? Because truly, from a content perspective, it is low-hanging fruit, right? It is not difficult to find instances of police being abusive, outright criminal, outright murderous, outright going against all the things that they purport to represent, right? You know, protect and serve, all that bullshit, right? We know that's some bullshit. But I'm gonna do this periodically and examine police departments from different places across the country. And even if it's just a cursory examination, like truly like a very surface level examination, because honestly, if we were, say, to do an episode on the NYPD or the Chicago PD or the Dallas Police Department, nigga, we would be here for hours, right? Most major police departments, major and minor for that matter, have had some sort of actions, even from the federal level, if it's Department of Justice, issuing a consent decree, or, you know, officers outright charged in crimes, or even officers who have not been charged in crimes in things that is very obvious that they are guilty of either harassment, sexual assault, or flat out murder or abuse, right? So today's Cops Ain't Shit, I'm going to start a little bit closer to home. I'm going to start right here where I am in Prince George's County, Maryland. Now, if you watch the Remix Morning Show on Black Power Media, we were discussing PG County just this week. I think it was Kamal Franklin who asked about Prince George's County. What kind of place is PG County? Because PG County, Maryland is touted as this Black utopia, or I guess PG County residents, Black PG County residents have a very high, I won't say very high, let's say a higher median income than Black people in other places, right? And I got into that on a very surface level also. That's because a lot of people in PG County have them good government jobs, right? They got them good government jobs, working for the federal government. They a smooth GS-12, right? And they pulling in $85K, and they got them a house in Upper Marlboro that they have a mortgage on, right? Jared Ball was very accurate with that. Like, home ownership is a odd sort of categorization, because no, a lot of people do not own their homes. A lot of people are leasing their homes, basically, like myself. You know, I pay a mortgage. This shit don't belong to me. This Bank of America house, goddamn it. But anyway, PG County police have a very bad reputation. Even though PG County is a place where Black people do well, or I should say do better than Black people perhaps in other places of the other areas of the country, this is a very over-policed community, without a doubt. The police budget here is large. The police officers here and the police department here have been placed under federal consent decree, I believe, at least 2 times. And even recently, PG County Police in Prince George's County, Maryland, settled a lawsuit brought by Black and brown officers, right? These Black and brown officers said, wah, we don't get promotions like the white officers. Wah, we're subject to all this racism. Wah, mind you, and then they go out in their Black community and whip ass, right? So and that nigga, okay, miss me with your discrimination claims there, Black and brown Prince George's Police Department officers, because your whole job is to subject and oppress Black people in this very Black and brown community. So miss me with that shit. But I wanted us to begin with a tad bit of news pertaining to officers in this area. Tunde, if you can whip up A1 for me, please, sir. This is from the Department of Justice, guys. And this news broke this week, okay? 6 Maryland law enforcement officers facing federal indictment charges related to schemes to defraud financial institutions and insurance companies, right? Police officers allegedly filed false police reports and false claims to obtain reimbursement for purported losses. So what the Department of Justice, again, this is a federal indictment, has announced charges against officers who work not only for the Prince George's County Police Department, some of them work, well, one of them works for the Anne Arundel County Police Department, another works for the Maryland National Capital Park Police, and there was another one. Fairmont Heights Police Department, which is like the town police in a town in PG County, right? Now, the reason I'm telling y'all this, I know y'all like, Kim, who gives a shit? This is some white collar shit. This is some insurance fraud shit. It is. And some of the actions that these officers are alleged to have done include reporting their debit cards being stolen, and then getting reimbursed for the charges, right? Or reporting their vehicle stolen, and getting insurance reimbursement for their alleged stolen vehicles, but using their powers in their employment at these police agencies as a means, they file the police report, right? Because they the police, that's what the police do, right? And I know y'all are like, Kim, why do we care about this? I'm gonna tell you. So out of these 6 officers, 5 have already pled not guilty. Conrad Darwin DeHaty, Philip James Dupree, Mark Ross Johnson, Jerron Earl Taylor, Candace Danielle Tyler have all pled, I believe, not guilty. One of these officers I do not think has entered a plea in this particular indictment. And that officer's name, well, he's been fired, but he was a corporal, and his name was Corporal Michael Anthony Owen Jr. Okay. Now, I know y'all like, Kim, why are you? Who cares? I'm gonna tell y'all why. Okay. I don't think that Corporal Michael Owen has entered a plea in this federal indictment of insurance fraud and other charges because Corporal Owen is already in jail. Would you like to know why Corporal Michael Owen, or former Corporal Michael Owen, is already in jail? Do y'all know what he's in jail for? Michael Owen is in jail for murder. Okay. And the reason why, at least as described by the Department of Justice, part of the reason why these new indictments have come down against other officers is because an investigation into Michael Owen's alleged murder charge brought about the discovery of this insurance scheme, right? Let's talk about Michael Owen, guys. This is why I want to talk about police ain't shit, okay? Because the argument that there's only some bad apples, right? There's a few bad apples in every police department. Well, police departments enable these bad apples to commit big crimes and small crimes, and they allow this to go on really unabated until the crimes become so egregious that they can no longer be covered up, right? Ergo murder. But when we talk about Michael Owen, who, by the way, did I mention he's in jail for murder? Oh, y'all want to know who we killed? I'm about to tell you. Michael Owen, by the way, who is only 33 years old, he's been a busy boy ever since he became a Prince George's County Police. But here is why Michael Owen is in jail. Tunde, can we please take a look at A2? What we're about to see is from 2020. It's from NBC Washington. I believe this is Tracy Wilkins reporting. So keep in mind, Michael Owen just got charged with federal charges of fraud and scheming and, defrauding insurance companies and banks, etc. Here's the big reason why he's in jail. Tunde, let's take a look at A2, please.
Well, this all goes back to what caused that stop for Green. Now, police say that he had crashed into a number of vehicles. The night that this happened, Prince George's County Police said that there was evidence of him being on PCP. The next day, the chief of police said that there no longer was evidence of PCP. Today, the state's attorney said that there is a toxicology.
All right, you guys, hold on. Tunde, start out from the beginning. Let me set this up. I did not do a good job of setting this up. Let me set this up. So what we're about to see is a report from 2020. Okay, that's Tracy Wilkins. Now, the Green that she is referring to is Michael Green. William Howard Green, 43 years old. He was shot and killed by Michael Owen in January of 2020. Now, when Mr. Green had been murdered, and you guys are about to hear the egregious way in which he was murdered, let me spoil it for you. Mr. Green was handcuffed in a police car with his hands handcuffed behind his back and somehow ended up shot 6 times, right? What the cops said, like literally the night that this man was killed, is that he was high on PCP. So that is where the PCP comes from. So I just wanted to put things in context, put things in perspective, because I know that started off a little ambiguous. You're like, what? Who the fuck is Green? Yes, I'm sorry. Mr. Green was murdered by Corporal Michael Owen, January of 2020. And the cops immediately said that he was high on PCP. But when it became so obvious that they were high on PCP, whatever the fuck, there's no way this man was handcuffed with his hands behind him and able to do anything that would deserve 6 shots inside of a police car? Okay, thank you, Tunde. Let's start that from the very beginning. Thank you.
Well, this all goes back to what caused that stop for Green. Now, police say that he had crashed into a number of vehicles. The night that this happened, Prince George's County Police said that there was evidence of him being on PCP. The next day, the chief of police said that there no longer was evidence of PCP. Today, the state's attorney said that there is a toxicology report saying that there was PCP in Green's system. Prince George's County Police veteran Corporal Michael Owen is indicted on multiple charges, including second-degree murder, after police say he shot and killed William Green. Green was sitting inside Owen's squad car, handcuffed behind his back. Prosecutors say Owen fired 7 shots, striking Green 6 times.
Our office is charged now with prosecuting Corporal Owen.
Prince George's County Police Chief Hank Stawinski announced Owen was charged with murder less than 24 hours after Green's shooting.
I am unable to come to our community this evening and offer you a reasonable explanation for the events that occurred last night.
Owen's father spoke out in his son's defense after his bond was denied. He was surrounded by Owen's church members. He says his son deserved support from the police department.
I'm sure that his heart grieves for his family. But I know that he hates this position that he's in, because I know he never saw it that he would be locked up by the very people, that he served every day.
It wasn't Owen's first deadly shooting. In 2011, he shot and killed Rodney Edwards in front of his home. Police say Edwards was armed, something his family challenged. Edwards' uncle told News 4 he wants his nephew's case to be reinvestigated.
And I'm hoping that somebody will reopen this investigation and see that my nephew was wrongly killed.
News 4 exclusively interviewed a woman who says Owen choked her after a traffic stop in 2016. She says she was handcuffed in the back of a squad car when it happened. She says her case was investigated by police, but she was never told the outcome of that investigation. Today, the state's attorney said that they are going to be taking a look at the past use of forces against Owen, but she still would not speak to a motive in the shooting of Green. Reporting live, I'm Tracy Wilkins. Back to you all in the studio.
Thank you, Tracy. Tracy Wilkins, y'all, NBC Washington. She is the PG County Bureau Chief of reporting on nigga shit. I don't know how else to say it. So let's take a look here. So as you heard in that report, Michael Owen charged in the murder of Mr. William Green, right? Mr. Green was handcuffed, hands behind him, sitting in the passenger seat of the car, of the police car, and somehow ended up shot 6 times, okay? But no, that you did not mishear. Jesus, Tunde, if you could please pop up A3 for me, please. You did not mishear, Tracy, in that report. Yes, in 2011, Michael Owen had another fatal shooting on his record. Okay, he was accused of shooting Rodney Edwards in 2011, and there were never any charges filed. You heard from some of the family members of Mr. Edwards said that they want this case reexamined. And from what I understand, the Prince George's County State's Attorney's Office of Aisha Braveboy, y'all, and is looking into that. Let me say this really quick about Aisha Braveboy and our county council person, our county executive, Angela Also Brooks, 2 Black women. Now, listen, just because Black women are in charge don't mean that they got to be doing the right thing. CC Marilyn Mosby in Baltimore, CC Kamala Harris in the White House, and former Attorney General for the state of California, right? Sometimes all skin folk ain't skin folk, okay? Let me say this about State Attorney Aisha Braveboy. She is not the only, Michael Owen is not the only Prince George's County cop that has been brought up on charges of some sort under the tenure of Aisha Braveboy. Aisha Braveboy is not afraid to charge these cops, right? And I wanted to say that. Some of these prosecutors, these alleged progressive prosecutors, they just don't want the drama. They don't want to go toe to toe with the police departments and the fraternal orders of police. Again, CC Marilyn Mosby up in Baltimore, because niggas got so happy that Marilyn Mosby charged somebody in the death of Freddie Gray. They seem to always conveniently forget that nobody was ever convicted in the murder of Freddie Gray. And I don't even know if she's charged any officers with anything, any sort of criminal misconduct since then. Lateef Mins, Thank you, darling. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate that, sweetie. So there's that. So I just want to just say something good about Aisha Brave Boy. No, I hope Aisha Brave Boy don't turn around and embarrass me out here. But Michael Owen was denied bail when he was charged back in 2020. He is still in jail. And as you saw off the very break, he is not facing new charges. Why? Because these criminal ass police, they don't stop, baby. They don't stop at little fraud or, civil asset forfeiture, basically robbing people as they stop them for whatever various crime. No, they actually go on to kill people. And sometimes, more often than not, these cops are never held accountable for killing people. So in the case of Corporal Owen killing Rodney Edwards in 2011, that was never even investigated. He was never charged for that, but he had to kill somebody else in a more egregious way in order for him to get taken off the street, right? So I wanted to point out also, and you heard some other people in that package of Tracy Wilkins say that Michael Evans, I'm getting these names all confused, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Michael Owen, Corporal Owen, formerly of the PG County Police Department, was accused to have been assaulting people in regular traffic stops. But Michael Owen has cost the county money. Tunde, if you could throw up a 5 for me, please, because PG County, understanding that the writing was on the wall, and let me say this, that Mr. William Howard Green, the man that Michael Owen is accused to have murdered, had the misfortune of getting killed before George Floyd, right? Before Derek Chauvin had an opportunity to choke the life out of George Floyd in May of that same year, May of 2020 in Minneapolis, Mr. Green was killed by Michael Owen in Prince George's County. And PG County said, ooh, this looks really bad. And let me tell you what PG County did. A5, y'all see it. Prince George's County reaches $20 million settlement with the family of man killed by police. Y'all, $20 million is a pile of money. Now, there's no price you can put on anybody's life. I have no problem with the family of this man receiving $20 million. If you put it in comparison, I think the George Floyd family, Genevieve, help me out on this. What was the amount that the Floyd family received? I want to say 6 million. Somewhere in that neighborhood, it was not 20 million, right? Not even close. And PG County understood that they had to pay up that money. Shout out to Billy Murphy in Baltimore, Maryland. Billy Murphy was the attorney representing the Green family in this settlement. Billy Murphy was not for play. Billy Murphy also represented Freddie Gray's people too. Billy Murphy will make these cops get down and lay down. He makes these police departments empty their pockets. But the problem is, it's not actually the police department emptying their pockets. It is me emptying my pocket. And ever since I have been in Prince George's County, my property taxes have gone up. Now, I'm not going to make a direct correlation to the fact that PG County just settled 20 million, not just, but in 2020 settled $20 million with the Green family because of police brutality, nor the fact that Prince George's County also settled a lawsuit with those Black and brown officers who had filed discrimination suits against the county. PG County paid them $2 million and also paid their attorney's fees. So we're talking somewhere north of $30 million just in these two instances that I have outlined here in less than a year. So the people that end up paying for this are you and I, right? Which brings me to the point of the George Floyd Reforming in Police Bill. That's not the exact title, but y'all know what I'm talking about, that Congress has been debating now for several months. And the story out of Politico this week is that qualified immunity has been dropped from the negotiations, right? That has not been confirmed by any of the actual lawmakers that have been working on this, but according to Politico, sources close to the negotiations say the qualified immunity has been dropped. If you can run these cops' pockets for everything they got, and I don't know what they got. I don't know if they got a little or a lot. Trust me, if an officer thought for a second that his or her home was in danger, his or her pension was in danger, his or her opportunity to earn a living as a law enforcement officer were in danger, I believe 1,000% in my heart these cops would act different. I'm not saying they would act different across the board, but they would take, I would hope, a tiny pause for the cause. The reason why they just are outright abusive and don't even give it a second thought, they injure people routinely, even murder, is because they know there's not any real consequence for it, right? The chances of them actually being convicted or, pardon me, even charged or something, let alone a conviction, even charged, the odds of that is still very small. They know that all their personal assets are completely protected against any civil action because the police departments themselves and the states and the municipalities actually bear the cost of these civil suits. And that has to end, yo. And I can understand some people being like, well, if you can only go after the cops, right, and not after the state or the municipality, then the families of the victims stand less of a chance of recouping any major money, which is probably true. But I think there has to be a combination, right? You have to be able to go after the cops personally and after the municipality. I don't think this should be an either or thing. Qualified immunity absolutely needs to be in any police reform discussion if we are indeed talking about reform. But tragically, reform is the only thing that's on the table right now because these pussy ass Democrats, and you know what? I shouldn't even call them pussy. You know why? Because pussy is strong, right? I don't know what the fuck these Democrats are. These bammers are scrotums. I'm sorry, fellas. I know we have a lot of very supportive men here on our program. But let me assure y'all, scrotums are soft. Pussies are strong, okay? So you know what? I'm never gonna call, if I'm trying to say the word for weak, I will never say pussy again. I will say scrotum. Yo, these Congress people are scrotum, homie. These bammers is soft and mushy and vulnerable. And they squeal if you squeeze them, okay? I'm sorry. All right, I'm gonna calm down. Let me straighten up here. Okay, let me get my shit together. All right. I'm gonna be easy. Okay. Anyway, put the press on these bammers, yo, because without qualified immunity, your reform package means nothing. It is scrotum. Okay, it's nothing. It's nothing. It's too malleable. Is Dick Long in the chat? I don't know, David Silberg. We have to see. All right. Oh, hey, okay. Hey. Okay. Y'all getting these jokes off. Okay. Y'all simmer down. Simmer down in there. Simmer down. My point is, guys, this is one cop. One cop is responsible. Let me rephrase. One cop is allegedly responsible for 2 deaths and now being charged with being indicted federally on fraud and oops. Sorry, I just kicked over a chair. Don't pay me no attention. You okay, Maggie? Okay, I'm sorry. Bagheera. Whoops. Come here, Maggie. I'm sorry. I just knocked over the chair. I don't think Bagheera's okay. She's okay. Come here, Maggie. Come say hi. Come here. Maggie said no. Say hi. Okay. Okay. It's me and Bagheera hosting the show. Bagheera, your thoughts on PG County Police? My point exactly. I support everything Bagheera just said. And, you know, where was I going? Oh, yes, the one cop, guys. One cop responsible for allegedly 2 deaths, right? And now accused of being a fraudster in addition. That's the minimal part of his crime. Okay, I'm going to let her go. Hold on. See you, Bags. All right. It's a live show, y'all. Anything's liable to happen. Police have someone like Michael Owen in every single department across this country, whether or not they are guilty of small crimes, theft, whether or not they are guilty of major crimes like sexual harassment and assault of people within their custody, whether or not they're outright murderers, people who injure people, people who shoot people without any cause, unarmed folks, who are posing no threat to them. This system cannot be reformed, okay? There is no reform possible for it. It has to go away. We have to do something new because otherwise the police are there to uphold the class interests of the elites, to uphold the racist structure of this country, and no amount of reform will ever change that. And the fact that Michael Owen is a black cop should surprise none of us, right? Now imagine if he was white. Imagine the shit he'd be allowed to get away with if he was white, shorty. Like unreal levels of crime and fuckery. But he was black. And they caught up with him real quick. And guys, like I said, he's only 33 years old. He shot and killed somebody 9 years ago. He was a baby on the goddamn police force. Everything goes, shorty. Everything goes if you're police.